Aimpoint just had their 50th anniversary, which you were very involved with, putting together a publication for that. And you wrote about the Aimpoint Koa. And I know that you're a fan of the Koa. Tell us a little bit about what you like so much about that.
Well, one, I think it's the most thoroughly developed optic, and its A-cut interface with the slide is ingenious. It is currently the apex of optics technology at the moment. The front of the Koa is like a triangular wedge that wedges into the front of the slide. These parallel ridges that go right and left between the front wedge and a rear wedge prevents any lateral movement of the optic, but in a very clean way without the need for screws. And then the rear wedge becomes a wedge when you put on the rear sight, which features 2 screws. But what I love about that configuration is there's no recoil energy that's passed on to those screws. And that's one of the problems we've seen with some optic mountings, especially when you start stacking tolerances with mounting plates and then additional thread screws. And then some pistols, such as 1911s, don't give you a lot of room for deep threaded screws. So there's not a lot of engagement, and you've got to use, Loctite to keep, ensure that your screws aren't going to back out while you're shooting. And part of the reason screws back out, if you've ever had one back out on a red dot, is because those recoil forces, get transferred through the slide, through the optic into those screws, which are they're almost like bosses. And they just sort of rattle loose. Once they start backing out, it's easy for them to get loose. The Koa doesn't suffer from that at all whatsoever. And it's the only optic in my knowledge right now that doesn't put the recoil forces on the screws. And it uses the front notch, that front wedge, and the rear wedge created by the clamping of the rear sight to keep it in place. And in my opinion, it's the standard. It's the next bar that has to be met by anyone else. I just wish all the other optic companies would make it easy on our readership and be like, we're going to adopt the A-cut. Let's go ahead and just give Aimpoint the nod. Good job. And, to that end, right now, to enjoy that experience, you need a Koa optic. I love the Koa sight.
I love how low it sits. And I also like that based on the complete footprint of the optic, which is very small, the window appears very large. So it's almost like the dot's just floating there. Yeah. If you as a viewer or listener haven't experienced that, I highly recommend it. It's kind of game changing.